Well, happy final Market Monday update of January. Hard to believe we are rolling right into February this week. And today I want to talk about what is going on in this crazy fluid market and what's really keeping um, inventory so low. Is it interest rates or is it inventory that's causing the problem in our market? Well, there's two dynamics that are keeping existing home inventory historically low, and I'll show that to you in a few slides. It's rate locked existing homeowners, right? So they're the ones that got the lower interest rates and now they're afraid to give those up, or they're fearful that they put their home on the market and they have nothing to purchase. And so we call that fear of not being able to find something to buy. Um, and so if we look at this historically, we can see that in the middle of the graph in 2008, when the market was in the crash, there was over 10.4 months of inventory available. That's a lot of inventory. Prior to that, 99 through 2005, we hovered just below 5 months of inventory. And then you see that we had a huge drop in inventory in 2012. And then, of course, we saw what happened during post pandemic in 2020 and 2021 when inventory fell below 2 months. And we had all kinds of crazy stuff going on, right? And then in 2022, we just did a slight uptick to 2.7 months of inventory. So we're starting to gradually build back up our inventory. Let's look at this last 12 months of 2022. So in January, February, and March, you see that we started off with very little inventory. We were still coming, off that high of the crazy market and throw your house on the market and it sells before the for sale sign even goes in the yard. And then as you see in June, July through November, we continued to have more and more and more inventory available. And that's when the rates were doing all kinds of funky things. We had people unsure of where they would move and if their offers would get approved. We had buyers getting fatigued due to writing so many offers and not getting an offer accepted. And then we started to settle down just slightly in December at 2.9 months of inventory. So part of the problem is we can't just say, well, there's a lot of homes on the market for sale. Well, yes, but let's look at this graph. The blue bars represent the active listings. Those are listings that are currently on the market and have been on the market. The green bar represents each month the new homes that come on the market that month. So for example, if we look at January 2022 through June, you can see that the blue and the green bars kind of fall in alignment with one another. And then all of a sudden, things get a little out of hand. And we start to see that the active listings are starting to sit a little longer, October, November, December, with very low amount of new listings coming on the market. So we have to be able to compare that there's active listings, existing homes on the market are greater than the new ones coming in, and everyone's trying to make it make sense. Now, if we look at new listings now, we can see that they're still below previous years going back to 2017. While we're still growing with new listings, they're still lower than what they were historically year over year. And we can also see that in December 2022, we had just a little over 239K, which is 21% below with a year over year comparison. So we still don't have enough homes available on the market to make inventory readily available. So the number of homes for sale has definitely increased, but we're still below pre-pandemic numbers. So if you can see pre-pandemic, there was a little over 1 million. We're still hovering under 700,000 from 2020 through 2022. The housing market still is fundamentally underbuilt and demand is still rising. People are still relocating to the area. So it's going to be important for us to boost supply in the area in order for price growth to happen. So the more inventory or competition that we have, that's going to drive price point. And we're going to see that obviously the pre-pandemic and post-pandemic prices were definitely elevated. I mean, my goodness, we were giving away our firstborn just to get our offer accepted, it seemed at one point. And so now there's so much more inventory on the market, the prices are needing to adjust. So what's going on with that? Well, there's also, add to the problem, we have builders with excess inventory that they now have on the market competing. So you have resale competing with new construction. Underbuilding over the last decade absorbed about 2 to 3 million home group from pre-financial crisis overbuilding and created a deficit for us. And you can see here how the housing market is still short millions of homes across different companies forecast that the market is being short. So what does that look like hyperlocal? Well, in the Jacksonville and surrounding area, Northeast Florida, if we look at week over week activity, so our current week we ended with active homes on the market at 5,453. This is compared to prior week of 5,403. So we didn't add very many homes. Now, if we look at this number compared to 2022, we were at 2,171, and ending the week now, we're at over 5,000. We've more than doubled the active inventory. So you can see how that's going to correlate with price adjustment strategies needing to happen. That also impacts the days on market. So it's not just interest rates. And in fact, if we're being brutally honest, some interest rates have dropped below 6% at this point. So we're still historically low on interest rates. Remember when they were over 11%. So we're battling an inventory issue. And our days on market is also reflecting the same. So in 2022, the average day on market was 17 days, y'all. Last week, we jumped to 68 days on market. And this past week, we leveled out at 55 days on market. That is the median number of days between when a property is listed and receives a contract. In our median sales price point, this is going to be a midpoint value where the price of half the closed sales is higher. So you're going to see that in the previous year, we were around 343. And this last week, we ended at around 370,000 for a median price point in the Northeast Florida area. If you'd like more specific information to your neighborhood, your address, I'd be happy to provide that. Just reach out to me. Now let's talk about percent of list price received. So that's the average of the sales price divided by the final list price and the percentage. So if you look here at 96.5%, sellers are still getting very, very good return on the price received after listing. And this is compared to the same week in 2022, they were getting 99.5%. So we're still seeing a significant amount of price percent received of list price. So that's a definite positive. So where do we go from here? Well, what we're going to need to do is have a complete detox of the market. We have a lot of homes that have been on the market as we transitioned from the 3 different market shifts that we've had in the past 6 to 8 months. Yes, I said 3. There's been 3. And this last one, there's still homes on the market that are priced before we had this adjustment, before we had all the extra inventory. Those prices are going to start to see a lot of price reductions in our MLS system, and that's because they're having to adjust to the market to remain competitive. And what's happening and driving that is we're having new listings that are coming on, and they're being priced strategically to be the obvious choice in the market. And so we have a lot more inventory. Buyers have a lot more options to be more selective. So you'll start to see that, more repair requests are coming in. Questions about updates and upgrades to the interior and exterior of homes. So if you have questions on whether or not right now is the time for you to put your home in the market and maybe how to position your home to be the obvious choice, reach out to me, Gigi of JAX. I'd be happy to sit down and pull the data that's strategic to your property and help you make the best decision if you choose to move forward now or in the future with the sale of your home. Happy Monday, and looking forward to seeing you all back next Monday for another deep dive market update with Gigi of JAX.